Yay. But I just watched Skaz's previous video. Skaz, if you're watching this, don't waste your money on me when it comes to Rocksmith. I've tried it, and I know how it works and so on. And it's a great tool if you want to learn how to play. I mean, if you want technicalities of playing, it's good for that. But I'm not a player, I'm a songwriter.
Shit, I just cut that off like way earlier. That's cool, man. I understand your groove. Tremord you. Alright. How y'all doing? I'm not particularly with it at the moment, if that isn't completely obvious. The whole world has just decided to go. And I'm like, oh dude, no. Big man has had a cold for the last couple of days. And I've got it. This morning, what did I already say? Pretend I did. At like 1 o'clock, it was around 1 o'clock this morning, sat bolt upright, Inky freaks out, asked if I'm alright. I couldn't breathe. And it wasn't until I kind of stumbled towards the kitchen that I managed to back again. And then when I tried to lay back down again after going to the bog, grabbing some Lavrol, clearing out the old snot, coming back, wanting to throw up. I was just like, oh, I can't breathe again. If this is how Big Man feels, this is bollocks. So it has largely dictated my day. Oh. Oh yeah. Get old, man. Get old. I'll tell you how out I've been today. Right? Really glad I've got this camera back. It's the one I left in Mum's car the other day. That I didn't have the memory card in. Really old camera. Alright, so I've been doing the vlogs on my phone the last couple of days, but I'd only have trouble with vlog footage towards the end of the clip, like it'd freeze for like, 5 or so frames or whatever. It'd look like there's kind of at the end of every clip. There's been an update, or at least I think there's been an update to the editor. I can't complain about the editor, it's free, it works, it does the job. It looks like it's doing it as well on the intro of some clips. Or it might just be the turn your phone around gyro. Whatever that thing is that corrects the footage. It could be this, that the camera had a hissy about that or something, I don't know, but I'm really glad to have this camera back. It's ancient as balls, right? But it's nice because it's the same brand. It's near enough the same camera as one of my bigger cameras, so I can nicely mix footage in with other cameras, the bigger cameras, and no one would know the difference without having to really color correct or anything. Gravy. Nice for bigger projects. Plus, doesn't make a bad vlog camera, other than the fact the file sizes are huge. It's ancient. You could kick this thing down a flight of stairs and pick another one up for $100. And I tend to... My vlog cameras don't live an easy life. But what I'm saying about being out of it... I was running around looking for a goddamn memory card for this camera without realising it was actually in the camera the entire time. So... Also, I'm going to be commenting a lot on Tremordia's stuff today. Just first off, seeing as I am on the topic of cameras, I've had the ability to shoot 4K for ages. I don't use it. I've had the option to upgrade my cameras for ages, and I haven't done it. The only thing I can think of that would make 4K worth it, honestly, for anything, is literally if you want to grab a still frame out of something. Because the resolution, that's a reasonable size still. Because I've got like a load of the vlogs from back in the day that are in 720p, and Inky said, can I have a still from that clip? And I said, well, you could, but it's really low res, like super low res, so she can like print it out and put it on the wall. The only thing that would be adequate at that resolution. It's maybe like a little Polaroid or something, but that's the only benefit I can see to 4K at this point. And this will actually tie on to another thing Tremorgia said recently. In the video actually that I just watched. I'll put a link to that video in the down here where my crotch is at. Just press the thing to extend, and I'm not beyond dick and fart jokes right now. Yeah, look, had the option to upgrade. I mean, I've had the option to film in 4K for ages. I've got 4K equipment. Just it doesn't seem worth the effort. This is an ancient 1080p camera, and it's perfectly adequate for most things. Even big boy works perfectly adequate. Just set it up right. The vlogs are just, I like to just push a button and auto, just go. I ain't gonna be carrying around lights and shit like that unless I'm getting paid. And if you are, stop it. Anyway, all I've done today is plinky plink. I've been like completely woozy and fluff like that. I sat down and played on Rocksmith for a bit. I went through the Guitarcade a bit. I did the chords thing that Ulath was doing yesterday, which was fine. That was pretty smooth. Although I found it is quite awkward if the guitar is like even slightly out of tune. It's really picky with it. But then other times it was giving me chords, and I'm like, no, I'm not hitting it. I'm not hitting it, but just give it to me. Which was doing the reverse of what was happening to Ulath yesterday. He was strumming it, and I'm like, I'm sure you're hitting that. Your fingers are in the right place. It doesn't sound like you're muting anything, but it's not giving it to you. It just likes me. It knows that I'm a cripple and I'm weak right now. So I played that for a bit, and Inky's had a little go today. And it's neat, I understand what Tremorgia was saying earlier. He doesn't want to, he's not really a player, he's a songwriter, and he feels that his skills are at a level sufficient enough whereby he can put the ideas in his head with the current skills he has. They're adequate to put the idea into song form. Mine aren't anymore. In fairness, all I had was speed, and I didn't know my scales, I didn't know chords. I didn't know anything, but I would play chords, I would play scales because certain songs had them in them. And admittedly, I didn't play a huge amount. I was just mostly kind of just kind of riff away at it, like noodling away, which is what I want to do again now, just comfortably. I'd never learnt all that stuff, so it's actually kind of neat to have it all in front of me. And that actually ties on to something else that Tremorgia said, but I'm working through the list. Watch Tremorgia's video, come back to this one, and you'll get my groove. So, but yeah, I just want to plinky plink and mess about and just come up with neat sounds. I don't want to play other people's songs. I don't even really necessarily want to write songs, but I'd like to just be able to play and have something come out that sounds even remotely musical. And if that means I have to be a slightly more skilled Kurt Cobain with a face, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Made me chuckle in that video. What just saying, you want to play live, you want to play. Anyone that's played with their amp cranked up would know how this feels. That nothing beats being able to sit near an amp cranked as you're playing your guitar. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get back into playing. It reminds me of a time. Okay, and you got to remember, I've got brain damage, so my memory isn't very good, but I remember this clear as day. I'm sat with my mate, Bubble, Ricky, and I can't remember, has he got his guitar or my guitar? I can't remember, but he sat on one of my amps, and that was a 60 watt custom. It's a solid state jazz amp, and we cranked that shit up. We're in my house, my parents aren't home. We crank the volume up, and he starts hammering out was it So What by Anti Nowhere League, Metallica. It's probably better known these days because Metallica did a cover of it. Fucking, he's just hammering away at it, and the whole house just started to shake, man. That is a feeling you won't be there. it's just fucking rad. So we always used to joke that with all of our gear connected up, all of our equipment went up to 22 because 11's for pussies. You know, Tremor says, you know, it's just like you could lay back on the sound. It's true. It's something you just can't beat when it just, you know, when you're just cranking it up. That sound, that feeling, that vibration is amazing. Which is kind of, I get why DeWalt is so into his home audio equipment for his, you know, for his TV and stuff. Just I don't really like having my films up super loud. I mean, I'm so used to having kids that don't like loud sounds. I'll tell you something, if I could set up one, like, because I don't give a fuck about other people's stuff, but being able to go out into like the garage or whatever and set up an amp and just fucking just hammer out at it, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Plinky plinking's fun. Noodling about is fun. It's all about having fun, which is something that YouTube isn't so much these days. I'm having a conversation, which is something that YouTube used to be back in the day. I don't believe it so much these days. They've taken away all the features to really enable conversation on YouTube, which is another thing from Tremorge's video. If you've watched it, go and watch it. I remember back in the day, they'd sit in front of their web cameras. They might have like a little Logitech desktop mic that they'd plug into their computer or whatever. Or they'd have like a little cheap handy cam or whatever. They had no idea what they were doing, but they would just sit and talk, or they'd walk and talk. They wouldn't be trying to sell you anything. You know, it wouldn't be about, look what I've got. It would just be having a conversation for the sake of having a conversation, mind dumping, maybe showing you something like around where the person lived, or, you know, sharing an experience. YouTube these days to me feels so much like nearly everything is about trying to sell you something. Every video you watch, sponsored by such and such, or hey, check out this, like, I don't know, like water block for cooling or whatever for your PC, or, you know, check out this rad thing, or hey, here's a review for a new game. It's like, I know people on YouTube who used to make proper shows back in the day. Like, you know, they had a cool idea and they'd go with it and they'd make a show about it. And now all they do is reviews and clickbaity titles and shitty thumbnails, and they've got a set with studio lights and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, but your stuff isn't any better. You know, you're higher res now and you're just stood there. But I don't want to have a conversation with you because I don't think you're really going to listen, because it's not. There are so many agendas now. I mean, there were agendas back then, but we're kind of just tossing ourselves off now. People just want to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they'll say anything they can to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and screw everyone else, screw the conversation, because it's about me and my stuff, you know. That's how I feel YouTube is. Hey, look, I've got new cameras, I'm shooting in 4K, I'm shooting in 8K, new iPhone, new this, new that, gotta have this, gotta have that, you should have this too, because it's amazing. Whatever happened to the days when people just fuck about with a camera and chat and just shoot the shit? I miss that. I really do miss that. There's probably still quite a few people that do it. But I don't even like coming to YouTube anymore. I come to YouTube to post my videos, see if maybe, like, you know, Tremorja or Zaba or someone like that I know has posted a video, because they're generally pretty raw, you know. And I can just chill out and absorb someone else's life for a few minutes, absorb what someone else is thinking and feeling, and, you know, try and get into their headspace for a minute. I know they're not going to try and sell me a new keyboard or, you know, a new computer. Don't get me wrong, I talk about gear a fair bit, but I want people to understand that you don't have to have the best stuff to have fun. You don't have the best stuff to make cool things. You don't have to have a couple £1,000 guitar to make tunes. You don't need to have a couple £1,000 microphone to record audio. You can do all this stuff with really basic things and have a fun time doing it, and that's what's important. And that's something that's really lost now. YouTube is like TV. It's become like TV. TV of the internet. If I wanted TV, I'd watch TV. But maybe I'm just getting too old. Maybe I'm just getting too old. I think that's another thing that was in Tremorge's video. Feeling old. You know, I'm in my mid-30s now. And there are so many things I've wanted to do in life that I've put on the back burner that I kind of want to do now. Dudes in my family don't tend to live too long. I didn't mention it, but a couple members of my family, they only hit their 40s, and they dropped hard. They didn't die, but they ended up in quite a state. And physically I'm falling apart, and I want to be able to do some things that I put off years ago before I find I'm no longer able to do so. Like the guitar. Or if Inky and my family are willing to allow me to try these things, I'd like to give some of these things a shot. They don't have to go anywhere, I don't have to succeed, I just have to try. I have to be willing to try, I have to say that I've tried many things in life. You know, I've got my fill. So I don't want to get to the point where one day I wake up and I'm too old and I don't remember anything, or I can't feel anymore completely, or I know my legs stop working, and it'll be a nightmare. But I'd like to say I've tried to do a lot of different things. I want to learn to, you know, plinky plink the guitar again. Not to a high level, but just to say that I was competent before I completely lose the ability to feel. I don't really know where I was going with that. I forgot. I often have that conversation with people, you know, about getting old, feeling old. A lot of my friends are starting to notice that no one tells you what it's like when you get old. You know, what it'll feel like when you start to get old, when you know, your back starts to hurt, and you know, your joints start to stiffen up and stuff like that. You never expect it's going to happen to you. And like me and DeWalt always take the mick. We're like, dude, we're now as old as we were when we used to take the piss out of our parents for being old. You know? And then there's always these conversations, you coulda, you shoulda, at this point had you have done, you'd have been here, we'd have been there, what ifs. And the only thing, I'll tell you something, like when you get older, I don't want to be one of these people to regret not doing something. You know, I see people half my age now, because I put off loads of stuff back in the day, for various reasons. I see people half my age pulling off this really rad shit, making my stuff look crap, and everything I've ever done has my time passed. I feel like that a lot. You know, am I too old to even try? In some areas maybe, you know, but I know that I'm running out of time to realistically pull off a lot of stuff. Some people, you know, there's always like the crazy motherfucker that's like in their 50s that's climbing Everest and jumping out of fucking planes, and you know, comes out with a breakthrough of the century. That's not everyone, and considering I'm already falling apart, you know, I look old, I feel old, I'm tired all the time. And as I say, with my family being kind of flaky in later years, if there's something you want to do, right, and you're not going to be an asshole to inconvenience someone else, right? If the thing that you want to do isn't going to cause trouble for someone else, go out there and do it. reach out there and grab it. If it's something you really want to do, you'll find a way. Do it. Do not get to like your 30s, your 40s, your 50s and like, shit. Like thinking, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Eventually tomorrow isn't going to come. Get out there and do it. Okay? You don't want to be like 50 years old. You know, your back's gone, your knees are gone. You know, you're feeling constantly fucking brown bread, your mind's out there. And be like, oh no, I really have run out of time. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm terrified that one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be in a complete state. That I'm going to be a burden for the rest of my family, you know? Get out there and do it. Anything. Write music, you know, climb mountains, design, build, learn. Do whatever it is. Just go out there and do it. Because times are moving forward constant. Time will just it's never going to stop for you. It waits for no one. Not even me. You know, the things that I remember fondly, the old days of YouTube, they are gone and they will never come back. You know, sitting with my mates, dicking around with our guitars. We might be able to have that again in the future. But that time, being that carefree, that's gone. Now we have to jump through hoops and make time. I don't really know if this is making any sense or if any of this was even slightly coherent. I'm just going to stick it all in the vlog. I'm going to hit render and be done with it. Thankfully this camera doesn't have any of the wonderful issues in the editor as the phone. So I can just hit the button and go, ah. But I'm gonna go dribble myself through to the kitchen. Probably throw up. And then I'm going to have a cup of tea. And then go to bed and hopefully not throw up on my wife. And I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow. You only get one shot of this, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Do something with it. I don't care what it is, just do it.